Hello and welcome to the 9th episode of TCB for EAP. I'm your host Jessi Mallory, and today we have some news on the fire that took place at the Audubon Drive house, the first home Elvis purchased in Memphis, Pringle's projects, news, a fan highlight, a special birthday tribute to Elvis Presley, and more. As always, please hit that subscribe button and click the little bell icon so that you'll be notified when I post new content. Check us out on Facebook as well. The link is in the description below. We'd like to thank Designs by Lynn for sponsoring this show. Check them out on Facebook at Designs by Lynn Elvis Tribute Artist Scarves. As you might have heard, the first home Elvis bought for himself and his family, 1034 Audubon Drive, caught fire this past week. The house was under renovation. The home is now owned by Rhodes College. Officials said the electrical fire started in the wall in the living room and the dining room. The inside of the house is in sad shape, but the structure, fortunately, remains. In 1956, Elvis had hit the jackpot when Heartbreak Hotel became his first million-seller record. On March 3, 1956, using royalties from Heartbreak Hotel, Elvis wrote a check for $500 towards purchasing 1034 Audubon Drive. The house was located in a well-to-do neighborhood just east of downtown Memphis. Elvis's parents moved into the house on March 20th, while Elvis was still on tour. The home cost Elvis $40,000. It was clear at this point that Elvis was the sole breadwinner for his family, and at this time he was churning out hit after hit with RCA and making movies. Elvis made some additions to the property to suit his needs. Elvis and his family stayed at 1034 Audubon Drive for 13 months. The location of the house didn't give Elvis and his family the privacy that they were seeking. Fans could be seen taking grass clippings and everything else they could get their hands on, and some even camped out on the front lawn. Elvis was always welcoming to his fans, and his mother Gladys would sometimes welcome a lucky fan or two inside to check out Elvis's bedroom so they could check out where he slept, his clothes, his stuffed animals. She would sometimes give his things to his fans. When Elvis was home, he would graciously sign autographs out front. Elvis and his family decided they needed a change, and they actually looked at two houses with their realtor. Elvis obviously chose the Graceland property and put down a $1,000 deposit to secure the deal. Having been fortunate enough to visit Audubon Drive, I noticed how small it really was, but it was so the Presleys. It was very Gladys. Simple, sweet. Since the Presleys left, the home has changed hands a number of times and has been painted a number of different colors. I'm sure I can speak for all the fans when I say that we're so grateful that the Memphis Fire Department got this fire under control before the house was a total loss. On this week's fan highlight, we'd like to highlight Sally and her story behind this picture. These are Sally's words. I attended Findlay Senior High School, and I became the editor of the school paper. My whole journalism class traveled to New York City for a newspaper conference, and we also went to the Jimmy and Tommy Dorsey CBS stage show. Elvis was making one of his early TV appearances on St. Patrick's Day, 1956. Peg, Lynn, and I went behind the building to the stage door before Elvis's concert. We wanted to arrange an interview. Just as we got to the stage door, a taxi pulled up, and Elvis got out. I said, "I think that's him." I had never seen Elvis before, so I wasn't sure. One of the girls asked him, "Are you Elvis?" With a deep southern and sexy voice, he answered, "Why, sure, baby." One of these girls said, "Could we take a picture with you?" I shoved my camera at Lynn, and she took a picture. I said to Elvis, "We want to interview you for our school paper." Elvis said, "You'll have to get with my manager." So we spoke to Colonel Parker, and he said to come back to the stage door after the show. He said, "No matter what you hear, don't leave." My two friends and I left our seats early, but waited outside the stage door in the cold. 3 times they said Elvis has left the theater. But we kept waiting and waiting with 5 other girls. Finally, the door opened and Colonel Parker let us inside the stage door for our interview. Elvis was joking around with us a lot. One of my questions was, "Do you think your popularity will last?" He said, "Probably not, but I'm going to get on the gravy train while it's going by." We went back to our high school and wrote the story for our April 1st, 1956 edition of the school newspaper. Everyone believed us, even though it was April Fool's Day. We sold about 50 pictures at school for a dime each. That was my 15 minutes of fame.
Well, it's a project like you've never seen before. It's Pringle's Project.
On this week's Pringles Projects, Mark is sharing something that fits right into our story about the fire at Audubon Drive. Mark has a home studio, and he's decorated one side of it to resemble the Audubon Drive house. Mark has the same style retro lamp, table, phone, record player, and wall decor that graced the Audubon Drive home. He also has the violin and notes with the Chinese dolls on them in the living room. Spotted in photos with Miss Barbara Hearn, you can also see the lampshade is the same as well. Same guitar notes that were on Elvis's bedroom wall when Kay Wheeler visited there. Table and lamp with Vernon and Gladys. Mark says he's one of the lucky ones that got to tour the outside and inside of the house several years ago. He says it has the same positive energy vibe to it that Graceland has. He hopes it can be repaired and restored to its original condition again. Mark says the pool has since been filled in. It's outlined with decorative patio stones to show where it was. As a historical landmark now, they decided to fill in the pool for safety reasons. Thanks again, Mark, for another great addition to the show. It fit right in. We can't wait to see what you bring to us next week. That's it for this week's show. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the program. As always, please hit that subscribe button and click that little bell next to it to be notified when I post more content. Don't forget to like our Facebook page as well. You'll find all the links to everything in this video in the description below. I'm your host, Jessi Mallory, and I'll see you on the next episode of TCB for EAP.